Hello, welcome to my secret obsession. I'm Cherish Lively, and I'm so excited to have you join me on a journey through love, laughter, and unforgettable romance. Whether you're here to escape into dreamy, heart-fluttering stories, or searching for the next book to swoon over, you're in the perfect spot. Together, we'll celebrate strong women, charming men, and the sparks of passion that make contemporary romance irresistible. So, get cozy, turn up the volume, and let's read a book. S'more Murder, A Camping Girl Cozy Mystery by Josephine Beintema. Chapter 1, The Happy Camper Resort. When I was growing up, I would spend my summers with my grandma. I remember baking cookies, playing in the pool, hiking through the woods, and canoeing on the lake. Grandma always smelled like cinnamon. One day, my grandma and my mom had a falling out. Mom never once said what it was about, and I never visited Grandma again, which is why I was surprised when a fat envelope was express mailed to me. It was a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo stating I was the sole beneficiary of my grandma's estate. Turns out, Grandma owned the campground where I would always visit her. She left the entire business to me, her home, and all the contents. Now I found myself in a cab, with all my worldly possessions, headed for Happy Camper Resort. It was the happiest place of my childhood. I found it exciting to think that I was now a businesswoman, should I decide to keep it. Or, as my mother had pointed out, I could sell it and do something useful with my life. Useful to her means graduating college and having a successful career, and not something I was especially proficient at. I had been a waitress part-time and a baker part-time for years. I dropped out of business college because I was failing badly at it, much to my mother's dismay. I want to be a baker and open my own shop someday, where all I need to do is smell cinnamon and taste chocolate all day long, while churning out the best desserts ever. This inheritance could be the jumpstart of my dream. Lady, the cabbie chimed into my thoughts. We're here. Crossing my fingers in the hopes my credit card wouldn't be declined due to the lack of funds, I paid the exorbitant fare and breathed a sigh of relief as it was approved. Grabbing my bags, I couldn't help but have a big smile as I got out of the taxi to survey my new domain. The Happy Camper Resort sign was missing the C. The office could have used another coat of paint a decade ago. One of the windows had a missing pane of glass. The area had been boarded up with a small sheet of plywood. Are you sure this is the address? The cabbie asked doubtfully as he took my suitcase out of the trunk and shut it. I had worn my only business suit, a leftover from my days of college, and I probably looked out of place, but I had wanted to make a good first impression as the new owner. Taking a deep breath, I tried to reaffix a smile to my face. It's a little rustic, isn't it? You can say that again. The cabbie had a huffing laugh as he got into the taxi. Good luck. The yellow cab left in a cloud of dust, which settled a gray veil over my suit. Determined, I grabbed one of the handles of my rolling suitcases and stepped onto the wooden boardwalk which surrounded the office building. With a crunch, one of my leather pumps sunk into the planks, and I stumbled forward to grab a supporting post, a small shriek escaping me as I clutched the post, my shoe lost to the recesses below the boardwalk, and my ankle throbbing. Careful, the wood is rotting on this side of the building. A thin voice told me just a little too late. There was a tiny gnome of a man with shocking white hair and thin features assessing me. Are you a lawyer? No, I'm the new owner, Ivy Thurman, I informed him as I released the post and carefully descended off the treacherous boardwalk, wincing a little at the pain in my ankle. Little Ivy. The man came forward enthusiastically, taking my hand in both of his and squeezing it hard. I haven't seen you in years. You've grown up, young lady. Well, children tend to do that, I said with a wry smile. And you are? Conrad Hubble. You did turn into a beauty. He grinned and kept squeezing my hand with both of his. Jeannie would have been so proud to see you now. Thank you, I automatically responded. Jeannie was my grandmother's name, and it brought me a little sadness to hear her mentioned in the past tense. I should have visited her on my own, but never seemed to have the time or money to do so. Is she here? a quivering voice asked. Must be, said a brasher tone. Conrad is going to take her arm off. Where's her shoe? Another queried. It's her, Conrad exclaimed to a group of elderly people who had gathered at the edge of the grass. It's little Ivy. She's come to save us all. Excuse me? I managed to question before I descended into a blur of white, blue, and gray-haired individuals, who alternated between talking over each other and shaking my hand and hugging me a little too hard. Wait. Just wait. The voices quieted down as slightly wrinkled faces looked at me expectantly. What do you mean, save you? I looked to Conrad for an explanation. Oh, honey, you don't want to hear about that right now. A woman in a flashy silk robe with brassy red hair, which obviously came out of a bottle, pushed through the crowd and latched onto my hand. Bringing her arm around my shoulders, she gave me a squeeze and smiled at me from expertly applied makeup and perfect veneers. Why don't we take the tour instead? Advised Conrad. The boys can bring your luggage to Jeannie's trailer, and the ladies will get it all aired out with fresh sheets on the bed. Perhaps tonight, if you're not too tired, we can have a party welcoming you. She's missing a shoe, Thelma, an annoyed elderly woman pointed out. Got it. Two men helped a third stand as he dusted off my rescued shoe. She needs to sit down with her ankle up, another old man advised. She should put some ice on it. What about the picnic tables? Suggested Thelma. There is a view of everything by them. We can go to the pavilion and chit-chat. Perfect, inserted Conrad. We'll go to the picnic tables. It's a little far for Ivy to walk on her poor ankle, the annoyed elderly lady stated as she adjusted her glasses. She won't have to be. Here comes Herb on one of the golf courts. Thelma waved a hand. We'll hitch a ride and show her the sights on the way. Oh, Herb! Need a ride? A tanned Herb brought the whining golf cart to a halt and adjusted his straw hat as he took in the commotion. Thelma latched onto my arm, urging me into the golf cart. There now, you can prop your foot up on the dash. Bee, why don't you be a dear and get the girl some ice for her foot? Bee paused as she was about to take a seat in the cart. Why me? Darling, Thelma gave her a pointed look. This tour might take a little finesse. I've got finesse, Bee protested loudly. You've got hearing aids, but you don't always wear them, Conrad piped up as he sat down on the golf cart. I found her, so I'm coming. Bee grumbled as she got out of the cart, giving up her seat to a satisfied Thelma. We'll meet everyone at the picnic table. Maybe we could have some cold drinks and sandwiches, Thelma suggested as Herb hit the gas. I grabbed the seat and dashed as we sped along the dirt path that was riddled with potholes. Could we slow down? Her ankle is injured, honey, Thelma explained. Sorry, I suppose I was going a little fast. Herb smiled, with an extra bleached set of dentures at me, as he gave the cart less gas. Thelma tapped me on the shoulder. There is the clubhouse. We have dinners, karaoke, and bingo there. You were talented at karaoke as a little girl. Do you still sing? I vaguely remembered being up on the stage and singing a terrified rendition of You Are My Sunshine as a child. Vines were growing up over the side of the building, giving it a neglected air. No, I don't sing. Is there a hole in the roof? A tree came down last summer in a windstorm. We were grateful it didn't damage anyone's camper, Herb informed me. Why hasn't it been repaired? I wondered. Who would pay for it? Asked Conrad. We'd have to hire someone to go up on the roof. It's an itty-bitty hole, smiled Thelma with determination. We just don't use this side of the building anymore. What about insurance? I looked at them in concern. Surely Grandma had insurance. They should have paid for the repair. You'll have to talk to the lawyers and bankers about that sort of stuff. Herb took a turn down a trail. This is the way to the beach area. I remember canoeing in the lake, making sandcastles on the sandy beach, and jumping off the end of the dock. It was one of my favorite places to be during the hot summers, What greeted my eyes now was an overgrown patch of reeds surrounding a weather-worn dock. I looked at the beach in disbelief. The sand was growing tufts of stalky grass. "We haven't been able to upkeep it the way we should," an apologetic Conrad said. "We're all getting a little older." "I see," I murmured as my eyes took in the sight of the kayak shack, which was still standing. It looked as though a simple push would send it tumbling into the ground. The small building was leaning toward the lake. "Are there still canoes and kayaks in the shack?" "Sure are," Herb proudly told me. "Might be a bit dusty from disuse, but they are all still there. Paddles and life jackets, too." "Probably full of chipmunks and mice," I thought pessimistically. "Maybe we should view the trailer area," suggested Thelma. "Everyone has their trailers kept up nicely with decorations. You'll enjoy it. Afterward, we can go to the picnic area, and Bee will have some ice ready for your poor ankle." Herb cranked the wheel, and we were off at breakneck speed down the trail. I grabbed the seat and dashed, closing my eyes against the disappointment as it welled up in me. With the buildings and grounds in this poor condition, there was no way I was going to get a decent price should I sell the Happy Camper Resort. I had been counting on clearing my credit card debt and having a nest egg to start my bakery with. The way this was going, I might be lucky to get a couple months' worth of rent money from the spot in the city. "There's Ethel's trailer. Here's Conrad's camper. Aren't those gnomes cute?" Thelma's voice sounded a little desperate to try to make everything appear better than it was. "Oh, and Agatha still has her Christmas decorations up. She always loves Christmas so much." I popped open my eyes, and sure enough, a faded plastic Santa smiled back at me. As we drove by, a motion sensor set off the voice recording. "Ho, ho, ho." "It's May," I muttered, averting my eyes from the assault of shiny, cheap snowflakes littered among Santa's reindeer and sleigh. "Christmas in July is coming," noted Herb. "Agatha is ahead of her time." Thelma pointed out several other campers and who they belonged to. Since I didn't know the majority of names, I blocked out her voice for a little while. What had been done to my favorite childhood place? In one day, all my fondest memories of spending time with my grandma were obliterated by this poor reality. What was I supposed to do with it? Surely Grandma hadn't meant to leave me this. "Here's your grandma's trailer." Thelma's voice jerked me out of my own thoughts as the golf cart stopped. "I suppose it's your trailer now." There it was, exactly as I had remembered it. A small vintage green and yellow camper nestled near the trees, on a neat little plot of grass with the yellow awning out and 2 blue Muskoka chairs ready for company to take a seat in the shade. Little flowers bloomed pink, blue, and purple in a border around the small plot of land. A couple of pots at the door were used to grow daisies, as I recalled. Grandma grew the flowers because they were Shasta daisies, and the camper was a Shasta. This had been my summer home for years. A feeling of nostalgia came over me as I remembered having breakfast outside in those chairs, baking cookies and other treats with Grandma, or sitting in front of the fan with the ticker streamers in the hot air before Grandma would encourage me to take a swim in the pool. My eyebrows puckered as the thought came to me. We didn't see the pool at the other side of the clubhouse. "Oh," Thelma had a nervous little laugh. "We must have forgotten about it. The next time around we'll swing past there. Right, Herb?" "Isn't much to see right now, as the pool anyways. It's hardly swim season." "It's May," I repeated my earlier statement. "It's time to get the pool ready for June and the summer camps." "Summer camps? We haven't had those in years." Conrad popped up. "Hush." Thelma batted his arm before setting a hand on my shoulder. "Don't you mind him. Conrad has a touch of the Alzheimer's." "I do not have old-timers," an indignant Conrad insisted. "After all those bad reviews we got, no one camps here during the summer season anymore. It makes it more peaceful anyhow. We don't have to listen to anyone's kids running around and making noise." Oh dear. I took a deep breath. This was far worse than what I had thought. "Bee should be ready with ice and some sandwiches," a cheery Thelma forced out. We don't want to keep her waiting. Herb floored it, and we bounced along the dirt path. A few short minutes, and we pulled up to a pavilion, which housed a couple dozen picnic tables and some outdoor grilling space. This area looked to be in decent repair. I noticed as Thelma and Herb helped me out of the golf cart to limp to a nearby picnic table. "Put your foot up," directed Bee. "I've got the ice right here." "Thank you." I gave her a small smile as Bee laid the ice on my ankle. There wasn't much swelling. It was more of a scrape than anything else. Nor was it bad. However, my grandma's friends had always fussed over me, so I found myself falling into the old habit of letting them. "We've got sandwiches and iced tea or lemonade," offered Bee. "Lemonade would be wonderful," I said. It only took a moment before a cool glass of lemonade appeared before me. The crowd watched as I took a sip. It appeared everyone in the campground had come to meet me. Setting down the glass, I cleared my throat. "You must all be wondering, as I am the new owner, what I'm going to do about the Happy Camper Resort." "I'm sure you'll make some really good decisions," Thelma smiled supportively. "We've been looking forward to your return." "Your grandma, rest her soul, was a wonderful person," intoned Herb. "She left this place to your capable hands." "That's nice," I tried again. "Tomorrow I'm going to meet the lawyer of Grandma's estate and the banker to get a better idea of the finances and everything else. After I find out how things stand, I can make a decision of whether to try to operate the campground myself or sell it." "Sell it? You can't sell," a chorus of voices protested. "Quiet, everyone," thundered Thelma before she turned a sweet smile on me. "Now, sweetheart, this is our home. Many of us have lived here for decades. We're one big happy family. If you sell, the next owner might increase the rent, and we can't afford to pay. Where would we go? Your grandma gave this campground to you, knowing you love it as much as she did. You can't just sell it." "I need to know where I'm at financially before I make any decisions," I found myself saying. It was something my mom might say, which made me cringe a little on the inside. While it was wise advice, I never liked it. My mother wanted me to be a lawyer, I wanted to bake. And if I kept this campground, I might lose out on my dream. "I always think better on a full stomach," a frail bird of a lady interrupted, holding out a heavy platter of sandwiches. "Try one of these, dear." "Thank you," I automatically replied as I took one. It had been a long day and an even longer time since lunch. "This is Agatha," Thelma introduced her. "She's the one with all the Christmas decorations." "Hello," I replied as Agatha nodded her head. "Where's Ethel?" Thelma looked around the crowd. "I think Ethel went to visit her son or daughter," said Bee. "She didn't bother to tell anyone." "It's a little odd." Agatha offered her tray of sandwiches to others. "She usually lets me know where she's going and for how long she'll be away." "Oh, she's been away for a few days now," Conrad nodded. "Oh, well, this is Lionel," Thelma continued with a smile. I nodded as Thelma went on to introduce the others in the crowd. After a while, their names and faces began to merge in my head, and I found it difficult to keep anyone's identity straight. "She's getting tired. We should take her back to Jeannie's camper," Bee advised. "Is everything ready there?" Thelma wanted to know. "Of course it is," huffed Bee. "I made certain of it." "I'm fine," I insisted. I was a little tired, I could admit to myself. Traveling and the tour of despair took a lot out of me. However, I should get an early night. I want to be ready for tomorrow. "For the lawyer and the banker?" observed Conrad with some cynicism. "Yes," I agreed, ignoring his tone of voice. "Just remember, we are counting on you, little Ivy." Conrad laid a gnarled hand on my shoulder. "We all love living here. I would hate to see anything change." I gave a tight smile. Maybe I am more tired than I thought. I'll just head over to Grandma's trailer. "I'll give you a lift," Herb offered. "No, thank you." I waved him away with a hand. "A walk will do me good." "On your ankle? No, you definitely need a ride," Bee insisted. "Okay," I allowed. My ankle didn't feel overly bad anymore. It was only a little tender. I was sure I could walk the way to the camper, but giving in would be easier than arguing with a well-meaning bunch of people. Thank you, everyone, for making me feel so welcome. Good night. A chorus of good nights were repeated as I climbed back into the golf cart with Herb. Thankfully, it was only the two of us risking our lives as Herb sped down the dirt path to Grandma's camper. My camper now, I suppose. With a whine, the golf cart stopped. Herb grinned. Home sweet home. Thank you. I had a tight smile and looked at the vintage camper in the fading light. Solar lights were starting to come on in the little border garden, casting a welcoming glow on the small area. I remembered many nights sitting out and chatting with Grandma. Going up the small stone walk, I could almost imagine she would be there, baking something, ready to scold me for bringing in sand, and mostly glad to see me. I opened the latch on the door, stepped up the 2 small steps to find Grandma's indoor solar fairy lights giving the space a soft glow, and the smell of cinnamon loaf cake greeting me. I paused for a moment, breathing in the heavenly scent which came from a small dish on the counter, which had been covered with a tea towel. From memory, I found the utensils and a colorful stoneware plate, sliced a piece of cake for myself, and had a seat in the little dinette. Taking a mouth-watering bite, I surveyed the cozy little space that was now mine. From the blue-painted cupboards, colorful reupholstered benches, and queen-size bed, with the beautiful quilt Grandma and I had finished on my last visit. How I missed her. In the moment I decided no matter what I chose to do with Happy Camper Resort, I would keep this camper. I had no idea where I'd put it in the city. Either that, or maybe as a part of the sale, I could ask for a lot here where I could come and enjoy the outdoors again on my days off from the bakery. Decision made, I finished off my delicious impromptu snack, put my dishes in the tiny plastic sink, and grabbed a glass of water. Getting ready for bed, I found all my clothes had been carefully put away in the small storage areas, which made me wonder what had happened to Grandma's things. A few items were still here, but where were her clothes and other personal items? Resolving to look into it tomorrow, I crawled into bed as the sound of thunder came in the distance. I smiled. Rain. I loved the sound of rain on the roof as a child. It could be loud at times, yet comforting as well. With a yawn, I was looking forward to the sound from my childhood. This was my last thought as my head hit the pillow. A constant drip, drip, drip interrupted my dreams. I jerked awake, trying to find the light switch. Squinting at the sudden brightness, I could see a wet spot on the dining table as another drip from the ceiling fell into the little puddle. "You're kidding me," I muttered. Considering the shape of the rest of the campground, I wondered why I was surprised the roof was leaking in Grandma's camper as well. Grabbing a pot from under the sink, I wiped down the tables and set the pot to collect the rainwater as a constant plink, blink, blink as the water dripped into the pot. Stepping back, my foot hit another wet patch, and a drip fell onto my forehead. Repeating the process and searching around the trailer, I set out a total of 4 pots and pans to collect the water before crawling back into bed. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. Your time and attention are truly appreciated. I love to write romance novels of all kinds: contemporary, suspense, paranormal, and steamy romance. You can listen to my other stories for free at My Secret Obsession. The links to other hosting sites are on the navigation bar at the top of the homepage at cherishlively.substack.com. If you enjoyed this reading, please follow, subscribe, or give a thumbs up. Your support means everything to me. Until we meet again, goodbye and happy reading.